How do you think the digital can be used in this context to arrive at a connective and comparative approach? We're comparing two cities. What sort of things do you think we should compare?
Well, there are two different issues in that. I mean, one is what you should compare, and the question is what technologies do you want to use to do the comparison. And I mean, I gotta say that if you have like a technically sophisticated exhibition, and that process of fading in and out, that process of moving and layering things one on top of the other, that process of allowing users to almost just flick through materials strikes me as an obvious way forward. That I can imagine standing in front of images of Covent Garden in the 1950s and being challenged by the images that emerge of Paris markets at the same time, and vice versa. I can imagine a series of faces, and there's a wonderful project by a guy named Tim Sherratt called The Real Face of White Australia, which takes all the records of migration of non-Europeans to Australia from the 1880s to the 1950s. And the point about it is that every single record, and there are some 60,000, 80,000 records, has a mugshot, a photograph of that individual. And what he does on his website is allow you to basically scroll through those faces, uses the pictures as a way into that wider archive. And it's one of the most powerful things I've ever seen on the net. Just kind of scrolling through 1,000 after 100 after 100 of faces, and they kind of come up from the bottom and fill in. It's almost as if you're moving things out of the way, and new things are constantly stepping forward to fill the gaps being left. I can imagine in this context using that kind of display mechanism, and then perhaps thinking about how you might subtly color code or graphically illustrate people from different places, people in different places, so that you're not only having a wall of people, you're having a wall of Parisians versus Londoners, you're having a wall of North Africans versus Caribbeans, you're having people, all of whom are evidently are humanized by their photograph, but given meaning by the ways in which they're being presented in that kind of overarching crowd of people. So that would be the sort of thing that I would immediately go for.